Okay, this is a Turf Tech or Lawn Tamer, depending on what side I'm on. And a couple people have asked to see my trimmer racks. They're old. These ones, they're 11 years old, and they work great. This trailer services between 35 and 90 lawns a week, and has done so for 11 years with this rack in place. And I've never lost a piece of equipment, and never had one damaged, other than, well, I'll show you, there's a trigger thing that can happen if you're not careful, but other than that, never had a problem. So anyway, I've got an echo and a still in there right now, and let me show you how they work real fast. Okay, one thing real fast, if you're going to build a rack, you want to make sure that the posts, like this post here and that post right there, are far enough apart so that they support your equipment out toward the end, because that's where the weight is. You've got the weight of the motor on the front side, and then you've got the weight of the head here on the back. And what will happen if you put your posts too close together, then there's too much leverage. The weight of the motor or the weight of the head gets bouncing, and that bouncing action will cause the shaft to get bent or damaged. So make sure they're far enough apart. And then let me show you how the back works here. I'll show you here on this bottom one, I suppose. What you have is this is 1 1/4" square tubing right here, and super easy to work with, easy to cut. And I just made a 45-degree angle cut right here and welded this piece onto my post, this shaft right here. And then I also have round bar. I think in this case that's 3/8, if I remember right. I think that's 3/8 inch round bar. I don't think I would use anything smaller. I've built racks for other people and used 1/2 inch round bar. That also works well. So anyway, the round bar is about 3 inches from the top of this post, and they're at the same height. Let me get down a little bit. You can see that they're at the same height, okay, right here. And what that does is that prevents the piece of equipment from being able to come out. Okay, you hit a bump or whatever, and it can't bounce out. Okay, so that stops it from bouncing out at the back. And same thing on this one, on this top one. As far as for the distance in between your posts, it just depends on your equipment. I've built racks for lots of people with different equipment, and usually I'll put them about 1 foot apart or so, just depending on what they carry. So here on the front, the way the front works is, you can see it better from the side. You have a carriage bolt. I think this is a 5-inch carriage bolt, and what I did is I just took I put here, let me show you. There's a spring that goes around the carriage bolt, and then at the back there's a nut that is attached to the carriage bolt, and I just used a small tack weld to hold that in place. Okay. And then what that does is that stops the piece, here, just so you can see it, it stops the piece from being able to come out. Even if I pull and jerk on that with a good amount of force, I still can't get it out. So to get the piece out, if I want to use it, normally I do this right-handed, but I can do it left-handed, I just depress this with my thumb and lift the piece of equipment out. Once I have, here, I'll show it back here, there we go, I hope you can see that. Once I have the piece of equipment at an angle like this, it clears that piece of round bar, and the whole thing will just pop right out. Okay, so, and then to put it away is just as easy. I just slide that back piece in, and then here on the front I just use the piece of equipment itself to push the bar over like that, and it just falls right in. Same thing with a wider, if you have the handle in instead of the shaft, you just depress that with your thumb and lift it right out, and the whole piece of equipment comes out. Same thing putting it back, just shove it back into place, and again, that can't come out or anything. And this, I probably will have to, I might just re-drill the holes and use a fatter piece of, or a fatter carriage bolt. I need to probably replace my springs anyway. But this rack, like I said, is 11 years old, gets used all the time, and pieces going in and out all the time, driving her out with it. Never had a problem. Never had it break any piece of equipment, except for how I'll show you now. If the guys are not being careful and they put a piece of equipment that has one of these detached triggers like this, it's not a problem with the still design where you can see the trigger is recessed, and it's a solid piece that's recessed into the handle. That won't give me any problem. But if they put like one of these echo these Echo trimmers with the detached trigger. If they put it in up here on the handle, which I don't like anyway because it tears the handle up, they'll put it in like that, and then when they go to get it out, they'll twist the piece of equipment and they can break that trigger off. I've replaced two of those. I've had that twice, and both times got to chew some people out. But as long as you put it away right, it's not a problem. This piece of equipment, this Echo trimmer, this is a 260. It's ridden in this rack for 3 years now, and this is actually my oldest handheld piece of equipment. You can see it's on its last leg probably, but it's ridden in the rack now for 7 years. So 7 years, and neither one of them have sustained any real damage from riding around for that period of time. Like I said, I've just had the two triggers that have broken off because it's not been put in correctly. Other than that, works great, and it's super easy to there we go, super easy to get pieces of equipment in and out of the rack, and it's worked really well for me. Certainly was a lot cheaper than buying any of the racks that I've seen out there.